A 39-year-old young woman was silent in her home alongside her two other teenage kids. This brings me to the question, does it still really worth it? Having your wife resident in Africa while you are happily living abroad? Does it still worth it? Having your family living apart, especially when you have the resources to bring them over to that country where you are happily working and living. Now, this is a story of a young Ghanaian woman, a 39-year-old Abeta Abena. She lives in a unique estate in Ghana. Now, her husband was living in the United States. Guess what? The man has always sent her money all the time. Unknowingly, she has a sugar boy, a boy who comes around to possibly massage her bed. Her boyfriend, indeed, in the person of Samuel Amor. He is popularly called Biggy. So guess what happened? This relationship was ongoing, and definitely the husband in the United States, who was their ATM machine, didn't know about this secret affairs between his wife, Abena, and Samuel, Biggy. So on one of the occasions, this woman discovered that the sum of 20,000 cedi was missing in her account, where she usually receives money from her husband in the States. No one else had access to that account except for Biggy, her boyfriend. She confronted Biggy, asking why the money was missing. Unfortunately, Biggy became so angry and then decided to take laws into his hands. He came back unknown to the family when the family was not even suspecting any evil by Biggy. Biggy decided to attack Abena. What did he do? He used knife to yank off this woman from belly up there. The woman was silent forever. And then he went over to the woman's daughter, Exie, and did the same thing. I don't know how big their mansion was or is that nobody heard the cry of anybody in that house, that they did not run away or something that I cannot explain right now. That did not stop. He went over to the woman's first daughter called Nana, who was around 15, and still attacked the daughter. He did not only attack, he also silenced the daughter. Now, this woman has 4 children. He attacked the little one, the second to the last one. They said, when the police and the public finally gained access into the apartment, they rescued the second to the last one, who is a boy. They rushed him to the hospital, and then the last baby, both of them survived that attack. Though Biggy did not attack the last baby in the house. So the survivors now are just the second to the last born of the house and the last born in the house. Now what happened? Biggy, Samuel Amor, disappeared. The police started making investigations, looking for where to find Biggy. Fortunately for the police, this very year, they found Biggy in the eastern part of Ghana. They got him arrested in chains, as you can see in this very footage. Now, why am I sharing this story? I give credit to comedian Orobo TV. He was the one that shared this story. I am sharing this story because recently I made a video regarding if it is okay to bring your wife over to abroad or to leave your wife in Africa. I was once a wife who was left in Africa, Lagos, Nigeria precisely. I got married in 2014, July 19th. Then, September 15th, my husband left myself and our 9-month-old son in Lagos, Nigeria. to Saudi Arabia. He spent 3 years there. He only visited once in a year. Once in a year. You know, he provided everything that we needed as a family. We were living in a beautiful street, beautiful house in Lagos. At a point, he moved us to a new, different house, 2-bedroom, beautiful compound with just 4 tenants. In fact, he bought me a Jeep and all that I had. I was living big with our son. But was that just enough? Trials and temptations were coming all over. Yes, because in that compound, it was just 2 of us, myself and another lady who returned from the UK living downstairs, and 2 other gentlemen, their wives living apart within Nigeria. The other one's wife staying in Port Harcourt, the other one's wife staying in the States. These men were working in big companies, but they never let us have peace in that compound. They have wives and children, just like we had our husbands and children. I am telling you this from experience. These men became something else. Despite them, especially one of the men who was living upstairs alongside myself, usually brings in work colleagues, different women in their colors and their beautiful shapes, because he's rich. He works in a big firm in Nigeria. So he brings them, they come over for weekend and all of that. The wife in the States, working as a nurse. The other one works in an oil company in Port Harcourt, the family in PH. The one downstairs kept disturbing my friend. She may be watching this video, downstairs as well, whose husband was at that point staying in the UK. It was a big challenge. Both of us will always come together to discuss our challenges and all of that. At a point, I went to the priest to talk about my own. I told the priest, my husband provided me with everything. I drove down. This is the car key. I have a Jeep, Honda Pilot Jeep. But this man has been disturbing my peace. This is not right. I do not have any reason to cheat on my man. I do not have any reason to hurt my man. Despite him not being around, he had gone away to fend for his family, young family. And we agreed not to join him in Saudi Arabia until he couldn't take it anymore. Something happened to him. He became depressed. He was sick, hospitalized. Rushed to the hospital by an ambulance. He told me. I said no. I got a job. My first week in that job in Lagos. I said no. Myself and your son, we are coming to join you, even though we agreed initially not to join you in Saudi Arabia. But this time you have explained the situation over there. That was how we joined him in Saudi Arabia, December 2018. We stayed together as a family. Now, it takes courage. It takes God's grace for couples to stay away and not having all this. Even if you decide to keep yourself. Even women who are living in the same house with their husbands, they still have this worrying, from other men. It happens. I remember when my father died, you see men clustering around my mom, who was at that time 50-something years old, with 9 children. They would come to our shop talking. My mom would tell us, we will swear for the man, a woman, at 50-something plus. My mom died at the age of 60. 9 children. Men still comes to the stop. Talk more of mere like us who are still young, and then husbands living apart, wives living apart. It is crazy. It is a hard situation. So what I'm saying in a sense, do you still think that it is wise staying apart from your family, especially those who kept insisting that they would not bring their wives to abroad? Over their dead body, would they bring their wife to a foreign country because the woman would become wise and then chase them back to Africa or blah, blah, blah? I don't understand that. Where did you meet this woman? Who did you marry to? If you cannot trust your wife. Yes. If you believe that your wife would send you back to Africa, your wife would report you, Why did you marry her? Did you not date? Even people that did not date. All women are not the same. It depends on where you find your wife, how you married your wife. Did you meet her on the street? Is she from some people, even from a poor background, they don't have the mind of doing such to their men. So I don't know what you think at this point, because a woman living in a mansion in Ghana, in an estate with 4 children, if she could be busy, having an affair with Biggy when the husband is in the States, if a man could afford that, why not? Though I don't know the reasons why this man did not move his family to the States. Sometimes the processes of moving a family to the States in particular depends on the visa status of the person over there. And the processes, it takes a longer process, So it could be the reason. I cannot say precisely, but I am particularly after those who are on social media saying and lamenting that they would never bring their wife to overseas, that their wives would remain in Africa. How are you so sure that those children are yours? Because you travel home once in a year, 2 times in a year, to consummate your wife. Bam, she's pregnant, and you will believe that that pregnancy is yours. My brother, shine your eyes well. When I was staying in Lagos, I was hearing stories about Agor women, Agor and Festac women, because I lived in Agor. I was hearing a lot of stories. Guys, men approached me, not just men, even married men approached me. Men I respected so much. They would tell you that you're suffering. Your husband is far off doing his thing with other women. You need whatever you need, they are there to help you. Imagine when they know that the man is providing everything. They still want to encroach. They still want to lure you into nonsense. It takes the grace of God, a woman who has a fear of God, to stick to that vow they made. The pressure is too much. So if you had the resources of bringing your wife and your children over to abroad where you are staying, do it. It helps for a family to be together. Yes, I have moved from Stockton-on-Tees to Southampton. There, I never had any man approach me, even though my husband was not with us. But moving to Southampton, yes, I've told my friend in Nigeria, Treasure Kitchen precisely, a Ghanian man had approached me for a relationship. My husband didn't know about this. I laughed. He had approached me. I told her how it happened. This is my 2 months in this city. It was crazy, Yes, he said he would be there for my man that is not here. I laughed. I said if I could survive in Nigeria for 3 long years without cheating on my man. Now here, where we say my man, they visit every month. My man just left here yesterday. I just dropped him at the airport. It's just 45 minutes flight. He's here. If I want to go there, 45 minutes flight. I'm in Jersey Island. So now here that I see, in fact, he's coming again this month, less than 1 month. He will be here on the 24th. So why would I do that? Anyway, let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you once again for stopping to watch. Like my video, subscribe to my channel, and keep coming back for more if you haven't. Bye for now.